LA2M. My name is Garrett Maribon, and thanks for being here. This is a really great turnout to hear a really great speaker. How many people are here for the very first time? Can I see a show of hands? Okay, welcome. Welcome to all the newcomers. Please continue to tell your friends. Lunch in Arbor Marketing is an educational nonprofit. We're a 501c3 charitable organization, and we hold weekly lunches all about marketing. So I think people have learned a lot here. And just for any of you that are new, okay, there's a couple areas of business. One is we have a Facebook page, a LinkedIn group. Please join us there. And we also have a weekly email newsletter. So if you sign up back there, you can get our newsletter with all the updates on events. We are a charitable organization, which means we do charitable things, which is cool, including holding lunches every week. So if you want lunch, it's $10. You pay the restaurant directly, the men and women in black. If you want to donate, we have a suggested $3 donation. Now, this isn't mandatory, but this goes to fund a program, cover our hard costs. We are a completely volunteer organization. Nobody draws a salary here. We just do it. Yeah, like Dee Davey says, we do it for love because we're enjoying it. So Stacy is our treasurer. She's going to pass the basket. Feel free to give till it hurts. Yes, Robert.
Yeah. One thing to tell you, if you donate cash, if you clip your card to your cash donation, we can acknowledge it formally. Otherwise, it's up to you to do it. So just put a little clip on the bills.
Okay, that's a really good point. So now that we're 501c3, we will be able to give receipts at the end of the year, but you have to, like he says, clip your cash to your card. So for all of you that want to give lots of money, just attach, yes. You can write a check. You can write a check to LA2M, yes? Yep. And we will track all that and give receipts at the end of the year. So it's a tax write-off to give to LA2M. Just do one of those two things. We may get church envelopes eventually, right? Maybe. Envelopes. Yeah, Stacy can download printing and print those. So anyway, Stacy's going to pass the hat. Join us on Facebook and LinkedIn. And a couple of things going on. We just announced something yesterday. Did anybody see we're having a blogging contest where you can blog about LA2M? Right. Okay, we have books. We have really good books. There's one called The New How. Okay, there's one called Crush It, and one called Trust Agents. Okay, these are 3 books that were donated to us by an anonymous donor, and we are giving them away. And all you have to do to win one of them is to write a blog post about our fall calendar and include in there the Mike Tirico event. Did everyone hear about Mike Tirico coming to LA2M? Yeah? Okay, I know the men know who he is, most guys, but the women, he does Monday Night Football, right? He also did the World Cup, and he's coming on October 20th, and he's going to talk all about the World Cup, which is going to be so cool. He was there, and so we're going to have cool videos from the World Cup, and he's really a pretty famous guy. The other thing is we are selling tickets for that event. So there's actually, you have to buy a ticket, which is different than normal. Okay, it's going to be $20, but after lunch, I think it's going to be about an $8 donation to the Peace Neighborhood Center. So it's a really good charitable cause. And we're giving 100% everything to them, which is a favor back to Mike Tirico for coming to speak. So please buy your tickets in advance so we can get a count. I do think it might sell out. Also, my company, Ingenix, is sponsoring it, and we're going to have purple vuvuzelas to give out. Yeah. And we're going to give them out at the end, because we don't want to hear it in here. But as you leave out the door, you'll get your purple vuvuzela, which is worth the price right there. I mean, that's cool, right? I mean, these are like being specially shipped from like China or something. Serious business. So, okay. There's another event going on here this Friday at 11:30 till 1:30 is the Inform, is simulcasting their big Women in Change event. So if you want to hear from 4 great women who are leading companies, it's going to be simulcast right here. And you can buy tickets, go to informmichigan.org. That's an organization we do some work with, a really nice organization. So please come this Friday to that. And any other announcements? Anything else I'm missing? Yes?
Ann Arbor Youth Camp is this weekend. So for the weddies in the community, kickoff registration will open Friday at 5:30. Kickoff is at 6:15 on Friday. If you care to volunteer, they're doing sites for 13 local charities this year. and they're in need of volunteers still. AnnArborGiveCamp.org.
AnnArborGiveCamp.org. Okay, thanks, Karen. So check that out, AnnArborGiveCamp.org. And so it's about time to introduce our speaker. And the format is the speaker speaks for about 30 minutes. There's some time for Q&A, and then we get to go around the room and introduce yourself, where you briefly say who you are, what your company is, and we pass the mic. So without further ado, we have Angela. And let's give her a big round of applause to welcome her.
Okay, so welcome. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
So as Derek said, I'm Angela Kujava. I'm the Marketing Director for Logic Solutions. And today we're going to talk about all things mobile apps. And we all know that everything you read on the internet is true. And I read on the internet that the smartphone device market is the biggest platform in the history of mankind. So it's on the internet, it's not hyperbole. We'll talk about two basic types of mobile apps, why your company will benefit from a mobile application, what sort of functionality and appearance can you achieve with a mobile app, the development process, and then again we'll have time for Q&A at the end. Just a little bit about Logic. We are a full-service internet solutions company. We were founded in 1995, so we just celebrated our 15th anniversary this year. We're headquartered here in Ann Arbor, and we have 4 offices in China and 1 in Irvine, California. We actually launched our mobile development practice in late 2008. Let out a bunch of mobile apps last year, and we have a lot more planned for release this year. And we do have some that we can demo for you on our iPhones and on our iPads. We've got a couple of those up here as well. And we are also a profitable, certified minority-owned business. So what you probably want to know, if I have any street cred at all to talk about this. And up here are a few examples of some mobile apps that we've done. Some of them I can tell you a lot about, some of them I can only tell you a little about. And the 3 here on the iPhones are different levels of complexity. So the first one was for the Midwest Technology Leaders Conference, which is an annual conference aimed at CIOs in the Midwest. It's just basically an over-the-browser app. This is shown over Safari, and we'll talk a little bit about that more in the presentation. The second is an application, and that's a native app for anesthesia revenue management. And this is, again, a little higher in complexity. It's a native app that has to be downloaded to the iPhone. However, it was still a relatively simple application. And the third one, I can't name the company, but I can tell you that it is very complex. And it involves live streaming video that you can see from cameras in, let's say you're a restaurant owner, in any of your locations. It also has a DVR component. Where the real complex issue comes in was in programming the camera box stream rate to agree with the iPhone stream rate. And it's beautiful, there's no buffering, it's wonderful streaming video. And then we have a lot of iPad applications that are in development, and I wish I could tell you about them all. But they don't like us to talk about them before they're out. But I can tell you that we have a live streaming video app for healthcare, the healthcare industry, an educational tool for a 500-person sales force. So that application, we're actually part of the biggest single store iPad purchase in history. Our client bought 460 iPads at once from a single store. And then a hotel concierge application. So imagine, if you will, you're at a network. I like to imagine that there is an Ann Arbor beach cocktail bar that I go to. And whenever this happens, people will ask me, so what does your company do? Because Logic Solutions doesn't immediately invoke any image. And so when I get to the part about we develop mobile applications, this happens. I have a great idea for a mobile app, and people get in your face and they tell you and they want you to know everything about their idea. Because people are really familiar with this whole mobile app concept, right? And they're very familiar with the business to consumer side. That's why. This statistic was as of April, and 45 million users in the US had smartphones. And we can even tell this is outdated right now because it lists RIM as the overwhelming winner in the smartphone market, and Google down here at a very small percentage. And we know that Google is starting to outpace its competitors at a fierce rate, and Gartner predicts by 2012 that Androids will be even more popular than iPhones. So just to go back to Google, they reported they were activating 100,000 smartphones each day. And you know, I mean it. People really love them. If you look up here at the right-hand side of the statistics for predicted for mid-2011, it's estimated that 150 million people in the United States will have smartphones. So this is more than triple what was happening right now. Mobile subscribers will be up to 300 million plus. Users of mobile web will be 120 million. And users watching mobile video are expected to be 90 million. So then we get to the iPad, which is Apple's magical and revolutionary device. I love the marketing department. In April, before the device was even out, Apple sold 600,000 plus in one single day. The expected sales for 2010 are 5.5 million devices, and next year for 2011, another 13 million people. I used to be in finance, so I was through some math up there. That's more than 18 million iPads in a year and a half. So, the first question you should ask yourself if you're considering a mobile application, and I like to imagine that you are a cross between Alton Brown and a hipster. Why do I need a mobile strategy for my company? Well, mobile accessibility is becoming industry standard, one you cannot afford to ignore. This chart, and I'm sorry you can't see it real well in the back here, talks about the organizations that are pursuing a mobile application. 55% of the survey respondents said they're evaluating their opportunities. 15% said they're currently in development. 18% already launched an application, and only 13% of the respondents had no plans for them. Sorry. Okay, so the first reason you should consider a mobile strategy for your company is competitive edge and to differentiate yourself. When I first started doing this presentation, differentiate yourself had 1 asterisk, and now I bumped it up to 3. And the reason for that is because that's not going to be a reason for very long. Within 2 to 3 years, I mean, we already saw, biggest platform in the history of mankind. In 2 to 3 years, all major businesses will have a mobile application of some sort. And if you're just getting into this, you're going to be behind the rest. So right now, if you have the intestinal fortitude to put out the money to develop the mobile application, you will be ahead of your peers. However, I think the more important thing to talk about is increased efficiency and enhanced productivity. So we're all familiar with this whole consumer app, games and things you can do on your iPhone that you love. But what I really want people to start thinking about is how do I use this internally for my company? Because honestly, it's going to be hard to come up with the next magic bullet application, right? There are millions and millions of apps out there already. And yes, you can sell an application for 99 cents on the iStore or on iTunes, but is that going to be what makes you your millions? So think about it in terms of how can I use this for my company? And we like to say, get rid of the paper, get rid of the heavy laptop, get more work done, and get it done faster. Other reasons you might want to consider, doing a mobile app, it can increase your website traffic. You will have increased customer feedback, increased sales and revenue, and you will be able to obtain improved customer data and analytics. So the next question you should ask yourself, do I want what we call a wrap site or a mobile web over the browser site or a native application? Okay, so a WAP, wireless access protocol site, is what that stands for, is basically taking your web page and transforming it into a look and feel that will work very nicely over the browser and will still look like an application, but you will need connectivity to access it. So in this case, developers do not have to code an operating system. The users are not required to download anything. There's no rigorous app store vetting process. And you can use the design across all platforms. There will be some minor changes, if you're doing Safari versus BlackBerry's browser, but for the most part, you can use it across all platforms. And I should take this opportunity to say, a lot of this presentation will focus on Apple. Since it is the most rigorous process, I want to make sure to give you enough information about the hardest way to go. Bam. So this is the Midwest Technology Leaders website and what they've chosen to use as their mobile application. And you can see how, even though this is over Safari, it looks like an iPhone app. And we'll talk a little bit more about this. So a native mobile application must be coded for the specific operating system. The users will have to download the app to their device. You will have to complete the rigorous App Store vetting process for iPhone and iPad. If you choose to go on an additional platform, let's say you develop it for iPhone initially and then you want an Android, pretty much the entire thing has to be redeveloped. So it does become a more expensive way to go. But the big benefit here is functionality. You can have unique data and capabilities that you wouldn't otherwise be able to have with an over-the-browser application. So think about this if you're having a hard time picturing it. This is eye candy level. So you go to the App Store, download this application, and it literally transforms your iPhone into a level, a tool that you can use in your house to hang pictures or whatever you might use a level for. You don't go to the internet to access it, and a lot of data is stored here to make this application work properly. Another good example is think about Facebook. You can access Facebook over the browser, and you can do many of the same things you can do in the application, but when you use a native app, you can pull pictures from your iPhone picture reel and do a mobile upload onto the Facebook app. So you have some really unique capabilities and options with a native application. So, okay, you're going to decide that. Do I want an over-the-browser app? Do I want a native app? Then you will have to say, well, what's it going to look like and what will it do? And everybody thinks, oh, I know, this is the easy one, I can answer this. But you really need to take presentation into consideration and think about what is important for your purposes or your customers' purposes. So we're back here to the Midwest Technology Leaders example. You can see there's a ton of text. They're talking about guests and what their bios are, and there are several pages you can click. It just doesn't present well on the iPhone. You have to sit there and resize everything and scroll and resize, and you don't want to get into that. So what Midwest Technology Leaders did was choose the 4 most important things that they wanted attendees of their conference to be able to access quickly and easily on their phone. And what they chose was the conference agenda, a list of the executive board, who their partners were, and what the venue layout was. And so when an attendee, again, load up Safari, and you guys, if you have smartphones right now, www.midwesttechnologyleaders.com, this is still up, and you can take a look and see what people are looking at. See what the application looks like. So I like to say you can't have everything, but that's the beauty of it. You really take an internal look at what do people need to know and present it over the browser. The other thing that you should know is when you do this, you don't have to set up an entirely new system to get this done, right? This is MidwestTechnologyLeaders.com. It's the same website that you access on your computer. It's just that we put a sniffer on the website that detects when a mobile device is accessing it, and once that happens, it knows to display this version instead of this version. So what about the iPad? The biggest difference is the screen resolution size. You basically have as much resolution on the iPad as you do on a laptop or desktop computer, which means you have more real estate, you can do much more with the applications. When you're limited to that little screen, you can't make them do a lot of things that look really cool. I mean, you can, but you understand you have so much more room to work with. And even your website looks a lot more beautiful when you do it on the iPad app. The iPad is also really good as sales material and presentation material. Again, you don't have to lug around that heavy laptop. You don't have to have something that needs to be plugged in everywhere you go. This thing is super light. I've got some keynote presentations up here online. You can go through, give customer presentations, let the customers have it, let them go through things themselves. And it's really an exceptional sales tool. So let's just talk about some functionality here, because sometimes, occasionally, and especially with newer clients who are just considering this, they're like, we know we want one, but we don't know what we want it to do. You can integrate multiple data sources in an application. Do mobile e-commerce, you can have ordering and catalogs right on the device. Calendars and group scheduling solutions. So we've learned from a doctor's office that this is really important to be able to schedule doctors efficiently for their staff. GPS location services, obviously the devices have built-in GPS. High quality streaming video. Sales training and sales materials. You can have forms, so if your customers or if your internal staff needs to fill out forms and send them somewhere, you can do that. And then also concierge services. I mentioned the hotel concierge application we're working on, and it really, again, can be internal or external use. If you have people coming in, if they're buying packages of something, they can do upgrades right on the device. It's basically, it's so great just to hand somebody something and say, let's take care of this. One last question, that's a big one. What else? What else do I need to know? So, testing the application. Now you will have to go to the App Store 2 times. The first time is to become an iPhone developer. So that's when Apple asks all the questions about you. And even though we're developers and we develop the applications for the clients, we always have our clients register as iPhone developers, because when that app does go on the App Store, they want it under their name, not our name. They want it to be App X by Company Y, not App X by Library Solutions. And so that application process takes several days, and you have to fill out all these forms. So that's the first step. Then once you have a working version of the developed application, you will download what they call a provisioning file with an iPhone configuration utility. That's for the developers to do. I can't explain all that. However, you will be able to, on your device, without going to the App Store, have a working version of your application and sit there and QC it and make sure that it looks and feels exactly how you want it. There are what are called emulators out there, so where you don't have to download the provisioning file and utility, and they're made to be easier and get around it. From all of our IT people at our friendly cities, just no good. Don't even waste your time, because you'll spend more time trying to fix what the emulators broke than anything. We strongly recommend that you let your developer do the installation, and I will tell you, we had our IT manager early on. We figured he knows everything about computers. He knows everything. We'll have him do the installation because the person who normally does it isn't here. And we had to reconfigure a $700 iPhone. It's not something that you necessarily want to take on yourself unless you absolutely know what you're doing. We can reconfigure any number of $700 devices, just know that I told you. And then expect the entire development process from start to finish, from idea to App Store, will take about 4 to 14 weeks depending on complexity. One caveat, the NTL website took us a week to build. It was easy. And sometimes you can, especially if you're doing over-the-browser apps where you don't have to build things and code operating systems, it's not going to take as long. But the more complex you get, the longer it is going to take. And this is not something that you can roll out in 2 weeks. It is something that needs a lot of time, a lot of consideration. Again, you need to think about this as your company's mobile strategy, not I want an app. And then, are you going to charge a fee for your application? Sometimes it makes sense. And I use Moviata, another hometown success story here. Their application is FlightTrack, and it's brilliant. I've paid for the application. You can get that information on the internet, but you have to go around to 5 different sites and try to figure out what's happening. Whereas this, you just, bam, I want to see Delta Flight 218, it leaves tomorrow, what's happening, and you can track a flight. Yeah, it makes sense to charge in that case. When you offer unique content or services that are not dependent upon a website, absolutely, charge for it. know that if you do and you put it on the App Store, Apple's take is 30%. And there's no getting around it. They're going to take 30% of whatever you charge for it. Then you go back to the App Store. Once you have this developed and once you say, yes, it's good, there are no bugs, it looks beautiful, it's exactly what I want, you have to go through the App Store submission process. And Apple is going to ask you many, many, many questions. And this one is about the app, it's not about you. So who will use the application? What is the application about? What's the primary language of the application? What's the purpose of the app? Will you charge a fee? And I always put this question in because I want to show everyone my sweet, sweet photoshopping skills. What color is your grandmother's hair? These are screenshots, just some that we took from the App Store application process. You need to really take about 2 to 4 hours to go through this. It's no joke. It will take about 10 days to hear back from Apple. At least that's what we're seeing right now. In some cases, if you don't pass Apple's test, they may not tell you where you screwed up. And so you kind of have to go through and figure it out. So you really need to devote a lot of time into getting this right the first time. Okay, wait, I remember that. Apple is going to put a tester. Once you send it in, Apple's going to put a tester on your app. They're going to test the app to make sure that it works. They're going to test the application to make sure that it does not crash the device, which I can show you an application crashing a device right now. And they're going to make sure that you're not using any of Apple's proprietary functions. So, for example, let's say you think it'd be really cool to build a photo album. Apple's going to come back and say, nope, we already offer a photo album. You can't use this. You can't put this application on the App Store. And then somehow you have to figure out how to reconstruct your application so it uses the photo album already on your phone. And then once you get the go-ahead for that, you're all set. In the normal course of business, you're going to do upgrades to the application. And I think anybody who has an iPhone sees that annoying little button in the corner. I mean, there are times when I have 17 upgrades I have to use in my applications. You may offer new or expanded features. A lot of times when you're doing the first version of your application, you do want to push it out there and you want to push it out there fairly quickly so you don't put everything under the sun in on the first go-round. So you may, again, have more upgrades to have that application evolve and allow your customers or your staff to do more things. You may revise your web application if there's a web backend to the iPhone app. You may have to make some changes based on that. You may decide to have a complete branding change of your company and want a new look and feel and a new design. A lot of these things can happen and you will have to upgrade the application. I'm happy to tell you that when you submit for the upgrade, it's a much quicker process. Once you're in with Apple, it's about 3 days and you get the upgrade online. Now you have a great mobile app, and you can be very excited and tell people at networking events that you have a great mobile app. And how do I know this works? So coming back to anesthesia revenue management, they completely transformed their business. They were very localized prior to major changes they made within the company. So they're from Warren, Michigan, and they had some very local name. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was, down with the anesthesia app or something. And they went through a branding change. They had a new logo, new colors, and they decided to do this iPhone app. And they debuted it at a trade show, a medical trade show. They were the only accounting management software company that had an iPhone app, that even had one in consideration. People swarmed to their booth. And the return on their investment, which incidentally was under $20,000 for this application, was so huge. The customers just flocked to them. Because if you think about it, anesthesiologists, their office is a hospital. Their office is the operating room. They can't always go back to their computers and see what's going on. And so when they were able to just pull out their phone, check things out, it shows. cases and projections of monthly targets, and then they can actually also look right at their bank deposits and see if money's gone in and out. It was huge. It was just huge for them. And they initially did it on the iPhone, and now I know that Aaron's in development for the platform. It's just been so wonderful. And Mark Hollerbach, who's the president of ARM, has said simply, our clients love it. They just love it. So that's it, and I will ask if there are any questions. I want to remind you that I am the marketing director. If you have very technological questions, I will have to get back to you.
Hi, I think the first question would be, is there a fee for submitting an application for the App Store?
Yes, you have to, there's a fee to become an iPhone developer, and it's different based on which kind of iPhone developer you want to be. There's an enterprise developer, and that's for real big companies who have 500 or more people testing the application. I believe the fee to just become a regular iPhone developer, not an enterprise developer, I think it's still $99.
What about for the app? Why don't you submit it? Just say an idea, yes or no?
I don't know. Al?
I don't know either, but Keith, you still here? Yeah. What do you know about that, Keith? Fee for a single
There's a fee
app
to
to
submit.
Not to actually submit,
Yeah.
it's the initial cost of the application.
Since you indicated that if you want to make an iPhone app and an Android app, that they would cost two separate prices because it's two separate developments, is there any effort towards simplifying that and making it so if you can develop for one, you can develop for all?
I mean, they're on different operating systems,
Right.
so everything has to be recoded. The only thing that you can really transfer is design. So, you know, and we actually just talked about this the other day. Is there any way we can offer some sort of discount if somebody wants to come in and do two at once? And it's just really, I mean, it's time and effort. You have to do it twice.
Can I add a piece to that question about the app? Besides the fact you've got a user interface that you're coding to, which is what Angela's talking about, you know, writing in Java for a Droid versus writing in Objective-C for an iPhone. If this application is like many we built that has a back-end web portal that's substantially interacting with the front end, your cost isn't just the front end. It's not just the UI of the smart device. So all the back-end web portal services all are usable because you're going to have the smartphone talk to that back-end web portal. That ARM application with all the financials on it, all that data is coming from the back-end web portal. So when you think about a mobile app, think broadly enough to consider it's not just something running, it may not be just something running on the smartphone. To us, an industrial strength application that requires heavy lifting by us usually involves a back-end web portal of some substantial merit. And that's all reusable. You code, you write the languages to the back-end door and talk to it the same way, whether you're coming from the Droid or the BlackBerry or the iPhone. Does that help?
Yes.
But consider it more broadly about your cost, okay?
So for anybody who doesn't know, this is Al Carbonelli. He's also with Logic Solutions. He's my tech partner.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm curious to know, you said the mobile site, the web, is cross-platform. And I'm curious to know if you guys are aware of how HTML5 can maybe affect the capabilities of being able to develop a mobile site with more capabilities as opposed to developing a downloadable app.
That's an I don't know for me. If you want to give a business card, we'll get an answer back to you on that topic. That's a hot topic. But last week, what did Apple do about Flash? They backed off. They said they're gonna, is that true? Who read that?
Not exactly, right?
What quite did Apple say last week?
I was going to ask the question. What I read in the Wall Street Journal was that, what I read in the journal briefly was that you can't run Flash on the application, so you can't run Flash on the iPhone, but you can use Adobe-based development tools. So you can use I think Adobe has a Flash-based development tool that you can use to write applications that will run on the iPhone. So I was going to ask, how does that change things? But maybe we don't know. Okay. Very good. My question is, what kind of advice would you give if you know there's an application out there that already does what you want to do, but you're sure like to just tweak it a little bit? How do you go about getting that app tweaked and then used for your own purposes?
Well, you have to call the company that developed it and talk to them and see if you can get permission to use it.
Does that happen? I mean, do you,
No, people usually come to us and they want something custom. They want the showpiece. Or you just use their app. You know, otherwise you kind of have to rebuild it, or you get the code from the other company, but I'm sure you have to pay for that as well. We want to use that for free.
Great, right here.
So I was curious, I don't know how many people are following, but Verizon just recently announced that they're talking about setting up their own app store. And so I was curious your thoughts on if other carriers follow this. Do you see additional costs in submitting applications across now carriers, not just the phones themselves? And if we're going to start seeing applications be exclusive only to particular carriers, not just to devices?
Okay, so you guys are asking me about stuff that all happened this week. I don't know the answer to that. It depends on, you know, what's open source, what's not, if you have to pay to become a developer on that platform, if you don't. I have to imagine, and of course, you know, I'm speculating here, I have to imagine that if it becomes so, you know, if you have to discern whether or not you're going to develop on a platform and then a channel, I think there's going to be a public outcry for that. I mean, people are already furious that they can only use AT&T for their iPhone. I don't suspect that the development, like trying to develop for 18 different things will become a huge problem. There probably will be more costs involved though.
How do you do? It's basically correct that we do have to redevelop at this point, but hidden in that story in the Wall Street Journal last week was Apple opening the platform a bit to allow alternative development tools to be used. That hasn't played out yet, so we're not going to know. But it is there. Novell is in court with Apple, and we don't know how that's going to play out as of yet. Two questions for you. One, why was that business transformed? It wasn't clear to me why that was transformational. And the other thing is, you cited some statistics at the beginning of your presentation, and I wanted to know what the sources are for
Yep.
those.
And this is all going to be available online, correct? So I've cited everything in the presentation and you can go online, but can you tell me which statistics specifically you wanted to see?
well, at this point,
So,
can you go back to the Kujava?
I'm using both Admon and Nielsen in this presentation.
Very good.
Okay, what was, I'm sorry, the first question?
You said, how was that company transformed by their iPhone app?
Well, they were basically the first in their industry to offer it. And as such, and along with the branding change and logo change and going from a very localized company to a national company that can offer something none of their competitors could offer, their client base just rose dramatically. And the way that they did business, their profits, everything just rose astronomically.
So the coolness factor really paid off for them.
It did pay
at
off.
the trade show.
It did pay off. But like I said, there were 3 asterisks on that. It's only going to work for a while.
Okay, this is our final question over here from Catherine.
Yeah, what kind of intellectual property? I mean, can you get patents on the apps themselves? And then do you guys help kind of facilitate that process?
So what we do as Logic Solutions is we build the application and then all the intellectual property belongs to the client. I'm not sure about the patents question. I know that Apple has tried to patent some applications and it's not going well for them. But I'm not certain about whether or not, we've not ever had any clients try to patent anything as far as I know. Al, do you have any?
I would just say that's clearly a question for a lawyer who's familiar with IP law. And clearly, that's been in place for 40 or 50 years. So I would imagine the same submittal process for any mainstream application written for another platform, be it a mainframe, a server, a PC. Why would the submission be different for claiming IP on a smartphone app? It's your code, you wrote it, you claim right to it. Someone attempts to steal your code, you sue them. So That's all I can tell you. Get a lawyer, because I'm not one. I'm a computer science guy. But that's what lawyers are for. You know, if you have a really hot app, I'd get a lawyer and try to claim patent right on that IP.
Or you can just send Al Carpinelli over there to talk to him. That works too, yeah. Rough month
Get a
over there.
bigger guy than me. He can get someone this big. Right?
Okay, so let's give Angela Kujava from Logic Solutions. Interesting and informative talk. That was brilliant. I think we learned a lot. It will be online at the LA2M site, so you can go read it. And so now we're going to go around the room, and we have a lot of people to get through. We have 20 minutes. Because we always finish at 1 o'clock, right? Except for that one time when we didn't. Right? But just go through and give us your name, your company, and if you're looking for something, let us know, and then pass the mic to your friend. And please stand up when you do that. We'll start over here with Mark Z. Please stand up. There you go.
Mark Zykes, right now myself, I do software development and just sounds like software development.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm J.T. Peterson, product manager in the software and software as a service space. Also looking for new opportunities, so feel free to say hi.
Hi, I'm Amy Ma, and I'm developing a website, maybe apps too, for a children's books, publishing of children's books in multiple languages.
Hi, my name is Jeff Lucidio. This is my partner Bob Masterson. We're from FamilyMint.com. We developed an online money management application for kids, for parents, hold kids. So it's a virtual tracking system, teaches financial literacy for kids.
Hello, I'm Julie White, Director of Marketing for Main Street Ventures, which has several restaurants here in Silver, just looking to link us into mobile application world.
I'm Bob Shannon. I'm a CPA with my own accounting firm. I help new companies, startups navigate the rocks and shoals of finance and tax. Looking for any clients? Yeah.
I'm Roger Rail. Just tell you that there's going to be Ignite Ann Arbor number 4, October 12th. We still have openings for speakers. We've extended the deadline to Saturday at midnight. So it's 20 slides, 50 seconds a slide, 5-minute talk on anything that you know a lot about. Also, sign up for my Google Earth classes on WCC this fall, October and November. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Veronica Player. I'm in transition, and I'm just learning here to learn more marketing information.
Hi, I'm Jean Lieberman. I have a little company, Personalized Productions. We focus on consulting and training with project management tools, in particular Microsoft Project. And we do online things and in face, and we actually have a free one coming up on the 23rd of September at noon on new Microsoft Project 2010.
Hi, I'm Mary Schindel, and I'm also in transition, looking for a position in sales and marketing. But in the meantime, I'm active in a number of organizations, including American Business Owners Association, Association for Women in Computing, and I've been doing some in-depth planning this summer, so I've been staying busy.
Greetings, Dave Owens. I'm with Logic Solutions Business Development. I get to work with Angela and Al all day long.
Hi everyone, I'm Megan Crosby with the Chamber. Be sure to check out our app, A2I Chamber. Hi, I'm Catherine Getzky and I own the Mood Factory, and we are trying to turn the University of Michigan and Ann Arbor pink on October 27th for breast cancer.
Hi, I'm Molly Dargan. I'm an intern at Ingenics, and I'm a senior at Michigan State.
Hi, I'm Eric Rodriguez, Client Services Manager at Ingenics.
Hi, I'm Maureen Pfeiffer, a recent graduate and intern at Ingenics.
Hi, I'm Chris Mullins. I'm a Search Engine Marketing Account Manager at Search Mission.
Alright. I'm Tiffany Reiser. I'm an interactive marketing coordinator at GenX. We should probably spread out next time. Hello everyone, I'm Lane Abendel, Northwestern Mutual. I have two things I focus on. Helping people save more for their future and protect their families. So Lane Abendel, Northwestern Mutual.
Hi, Mitch Alessi with BC Web Services. We're looking for a back-end developer with PHP and or Java experience and some salespeople. So if you're interested, come see me.
Hi, my name is Ed Vilmetti. In the morning I get my kids to school. Later than that, in the morning I write for Arbor.com. At lunchtime I have lunch. And in the afternoon I try to make sure that I get my kids home from school. So since the older child is riding the TA in 5th grade all by himself, I'm really interested in mobile apps for tracking bus services, especially my kid. So please write that down.
Hi, I'm Claire Harold. I'm the graphic designer for Communications, and we are also entering the mobile app world. And we've worked with a lot of solutions before and have had great success.
Hi, my name is Dan Walker. I'm a business consultant. I leverage a proprietary process to identify what my clients' customers actually want to pay for. We use a very unique, very special process. We actually go talk to them. It's a structured process, but it really comes down to asking the right question of the right person in the right way and then doing something with the information you collect.
Thank you, Dan. My name is John Mulahanis, and I have a company called JAMA Consulting. And what we do is partner with companies to help create strategies to help them improve their bottom line. And it focuses a lot around transformational change.
Hi, I'm Tom Crawford, and I help teach business people how to communicate better.
I'm Keith Warren. I organize the Mobile Monday Michigan chapters in Ann Arbor and Detroit. And if you guys like the topic here, there's a lot more of that in the Mobile Monday Michigan groups. We have a meeting right here at 6:30 on Monday, so come and join us. So it's for a night event. You can drink a little bit more beer then. And thank you.
Hi, my name is Joel Bergen. I'm with dishfish.net. We offer consumer reviews and reward consumers with discounts at local businesses when they write a review about the business or donate to a favorite charity.
Hi, I'm Ryan Cardigan, and I'm a front-end developer for Stone Interactive Group and a pre-press manager for LLIC Magazine.
I'm Tifan. I do online marketing and project management at Stone Interactive Group.
Rich Austin, I'm with Sailor Trading here in Ann Arbor. We help entrepreneurs and business owners in town provide reinforcement training, which leads to sales culture transformation, and I promise it's not as convoluted as I just made it sound.
Hi, I'm Stacy from Dollar Bill. We're a local digital print shop here in Ann Arbor, and I love to help marketing departments get their print projects done quickly and affordably.
Hi, I'm Kathy Sazitsky, currently putting my marketing and advertising background in marketing consulting through RJ Conlon Marketing and Design as a teaching assistant for Eastern Michigan University's Integrated Marketing Communications Master's Program, and on the board of the Friends of the Ann Arbor District Library, who they're opening, I believe, this weekend for the season. If you haven't discovered them, they're in the basement of the main library on 5th Ave. A lot of great books for a very low cost, and they've actually repainted, redone a lot of things, so you'll find a lot of new used books this fall.
I'm Dave Carson. I'm Director of Geospatial Solutions for iSciences, which is an organization that helps companies find and use information about the world above them.
Hi, I'm Dave Cozio with Arbor Software. We help clients build mobile apps, and I'm also an assistant organizer for Mobile Monday. I'd encourage all of you to come out to our next meeting if you're interested in mobile development, mobile apps, and learning more about that space. They'll be here. Keep has some details. You can find it with your bullet.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Lane. I just moved here from the East Coast where I was a technology integrator, and I have a background in multimedia and design.
Hi, Mike Wynn with Michigan I'm sorry, Sandler training, but I wanted to say I am a Michigan Wolverine fan. So, on the Spartans, October 9th, can't wait.
Hi, I'm Ellen Craw with LA2M Software. We make and sell end-user apps on various smartphones.
Hello, I'm Kevin Piku. I'm a health and fitness blogger, and I am president of Drake & McCormick PLC, which is a group of business consultants and attorneys in Grosse Pointe. We work with many startups, and we have a client who's interested in a mobile app, so I thought this would be a good topic.
My name is Kim Kachadorian. I'm in transition. I have a background in marketing, PR, advertising, a little bit of everything. I've also recently joined the board of the Ann Arbor Ad Club, and we are having our first event next week. It's called What's in Your Toolkit, and it's an actual interactive seminar where the people in the group decide what we want the speaker to talk about. So it should be fun, a2ac.org. And my website's geekymarketer.com. Thank you.
My name is Jacob Smith. I'm a recent U of M grad and owner of Go Green Energy Consulting. We're a home energy inspection and weatherization upgrade company, and we're looking to potentially develop an app or some other mobile site or something to help us with single data entry so that we don't have to write everything down and then rewrite everything down. So to improve our process. And if anyone wants to save money on their energy bills, this one.
I'm Carter Sherlin from Print Studios, and I'm a commercial editorial and portrait photographer.
Angela Kujava, I'm with Project Solutions. I'm a Gemini. I want to say that we are looking for project managers who are experienced with very large web projects, and if you have SEO knowledge, that will not hurt.
Good news. So I'm Derek Marabon, CEO of Ingenix Digital Marketing, and I also teach at Michigan State University in addition to being a Spartan alumni, so yeah, October 9th, we'll see about that. It's been 3 years running. Spartan victory, so we'll see.
2 years.
Three. So, anyways, but besides all that, so in Ingenix we build websites, we do SEO, we do some mobile, we do some Google AdWords, and also one thing, you talk about the funds of LA2M. There's TEDx Detroit is coming up in a couple weeks. Is anyone going to TEDx Detroit? Okay. We just made a quick decision that we're going to do like an LA2M bus to TEDx Detroit, which I think is good because there's absolutely no parking down there next to this event. So we will organize a TEDx bus, and then whoever's going. For those of you that are staying, there is going to be an event here that day. It's going to be very cool. There's going to be TEDx videos, and Karen's going to be helping out. Megan's going to be the MC.
The most fun ever.
Yeah, it's going to be rocking. So I know there's a lot of people that aren't going to TEDx Detroit, but you can watch TED videos here and still have fun and camaraderie.
Okay, Megan, I'm canceling TEDx Detroit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so, oh yeah, one more thing, if you can make it to that Inform simulcast, it's going to be a really cool event on Friday, 11:30. Go to informmichigan.org for the details. And now over to Dee Davey.
Thank you, Derek. Dee Davey, Creative Ideas Marketing. I'm an independent marketing contractor. I help overworked and under-resourced marketing teams get marketing projects off their desk without the investment of a full-time resource. If you identify any opportunities for teams who need specific marketing projects undertaken, particularly in business-to-business service arena, please keep me in mind. It is also my pleasure to introduce next week's speaker. We have Ryan Schramm from ePrize, and Ryan is going to be coming in and talking about building your marketing relationships through interactive and social promotion. So using all of the social marketing tools that we've been learning about over the last 2 years to actually use those to build and nurture your client and consumer relations. So next week at LA2M, see you there.